Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you're not a gamer, you might not be very interested in what this video is gonna be about. But Doctor Disrespect, one of the biggest gamer out there, I'm hearing that he quit because of all the backlash that he's getting and all the allegations that are out there about him. But hey, I don't know if it's true or false. I haven't seen any text messages, so let's see. But the sad news is I heard he actually got fired from one of his company that he was working at due to the allegation. And again, this was back in 2020 when this whole thing happened, and it caught up to him today. Let's get into the video, see what it's about.
This is not the news I was expecting to drop in June of 2024, but I guess sometimes it happens. Hot off the presses, kind of came out of nowhere. And the reason I'm making a video about this is to give a relatively unique perspective on why this sometimes happens. I'm really bad about kind of doing a little ramble at the start of my videos, I realize. I apologize. Basically, in case you missed
She's
it,
not the only
ex-Twitch
one.
employee Cody Connors tweeted saying he got banned because got caught sexting a minor in the then existing Twitch Whispers product. He was trying to meet up with her at a TwitchCon. The powers that be could read in plain text, case closed gang, with a follow-up tweet saying no one made the wrong decision, fuck him and his boys.
Why now? Again, keep in mind, this happened back in 2020. That's when Dr. Disrespect got banned off Twitch. But why now did he decide to say, you know what? I'm going to put this guy on blast. What did Dr. Disrespect say to him? Again, this guy is an ex-employee of Twitch. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me that he would go out of his way to expose Dr. Disrespect for what he did 4 years ago. Today, you don't work at Twitch anymore. So what benefit are you going to get from exposing the man? I don't understand that. Now again, I'm not saying what he's saying is true or false. I haven't seen any text messages myself. But a lot of people's lives have been ruined because of allegations. You know, and it sucks, but that's reality. That's what we've seen out there.
This is a reference to Dr. Disrespect, who was banned from Twitch in 2020 very mysteriously. Let me give you a little bit of a recap. And to be clear, that ban, I saw some people who fully misunderstood this somehow. At one point, Dr. Disrespect was banned for a few days for streaming from a bathroom during TwitchCon, as in like walking into a bathroom while still streaming, which is obviously illegal and crazy. That was not the actual final ban. That was a temporary ban. The final ban, we never actually found out why. This article from Dexerto is about the original ban and says, Dr. Disrespect was the self-proclaimed face of Twitch before being unceremoniously removed from the site, even though he's one of the most followed streamers on the platform at that time. Portrayed by Guy Beam, the personality's over-the-top 80s action hero character, and unrivaled production value made him a hit with viewers. On June 26, which almost exactly 4 years ago, 2020, Dr. Disrespect's channel was removed from Twitch and reports claim the streamer had been permanently banned. This came just after the streamer signed a multi-year contract with Amazon-owned company in March 2020 to keep him on the site for the foreseeable future. And to be clear, Amazon lost a lot of money on this, especially because Doc still streams on a competing platform. More than 2 years later, the legal dispute between Doc and Twitch was resolved, with either party accepting wrongdoing, which is very interesting. But yeah, a really weird part of this was that he tweeted saying, Twitch has not notified me on the specific reason behind their decision. Firm handshakes to all for the support during this difficult time. It really did feel like it came out of nowhere when it happened. Twitch did.
Yeah, I remember when it happened, because it was just all over the place. Oh, Dr. Disrespect got banned off of Twitch. Dr. Disrespect got banned off of Twitch, and nobody knew why. There were a lot of speculations out there of people trying to figure out exactly why he got banned. Even Dr. Disrespect himself coming and saying, I don't know why I got banned. He just got banned. And so it didn't really make a lot of sense, because yes, Twitch is a company that a lot of people don't really trust, you know, because in my personal opinion, there's a lot of stuff on there that is like, bro, this goes against your guideline clearly, but they don't ban these people, especially the females that are promoting their OnlyFans on website on Twitch, where the minimum age is, if I'm not wrong, I think it's like 13 years old, you know. So there's a lot of things on Twitch that makes you think like, okay, this is very inconsistent. right? You would ban somebody for something as petty as this, but you wouldn't ban this person for something that as grievous as that. So it's dumb. That's me personally. I'm like, Twitch is based off of their reputation. Again, they could do better. You know, they could do better. I'm not saying what happened to Dr. Disrespect is a lie or if it's true. I have no idea. No idea. For all we know, this guy could be making this up just to ruin the man's life. You know? And Dr. Disrespect, he's had it. I don't know if she's going to get to the part, but he said he's quitting gaming forever.
Did eventually send out a statement saying, as is our process, we take appropriate action when we have evidence that a streamer has acted in violation of our community guidelines or terms of service. These apply to all streamers regardless of status or prominence in the community. But they gave no other explanation, and there were a ton of streamers who came out saying things like, he's trying to figure out what happened, he doesn't know what happened, he's trying to talk to Twitch. Twitch also refunded all of the subscriptions to Doc's channel and allegedly fully paid out his contract, or at least that's according to Doc himself. And then in some extra weirdness, this was ended with him saying, I know it's tough, life's weird right now, we'll get through this okay, and fuck, before abruptly ending the broadcast. Dr. Disrespect then sued Twitch over his ban during a live stream on August 23rd, 2021. The two-time claimed that he was taking legal action against Twitch as a result of his ban in 2020. He said, there's a reason why, and I'll say this right now, champs, there's a reason why we're suing the fuck out of him, okay? I don't know how else to put it, the amount of damages, and you just don't nah, which the context of this is a little different now. Like, if the context of this is, I don't know how else to put it, and you just don't, is referring to them reading private DMs, that makes a whole lot of sense. And around the time of this happening, again, June 26, 2020, Rod Breslau, Slasher, known leaker, posted saying, look, for several hours now, I have been told from credible sources the reason Dr. Disrespect has been banned. However, due to the importance and sensitivity around the subject, I have refrained from going on it. I don't feel comfortable with it currently. Slasher has also tweeted today saying, I didn't lie. Now, obviously, this is an allegation. This is not necessarily a fact, but this is from an ex-Twitch employee that is worth noting. And a number of other Twitch employees have come forward and said things like, I'm so glad it's out in the open now. This one.
I mean, me personally, I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying what he did is 100% right. No. But I'm the type of person that believe in the fact that if somebody did something in their past, let's leave it in the past. You know what I mean? Unless it's something that's reoccurring over and over and over again. It's like, okay, this person is obviously somebody who definitely doesn't want to stop doing this, even though he or she knows it's wrong. But if this happened 4 years ago, just leave it there, man. You know? Because now you stop, like, now you have, in a way, destroyed somebody's life for maybe a mistake that they regret. And they've probably, if there's somebody who is godly, they've probably repented from that, you know? And that's why I'm like, okay, if somebody did something in the past, if it's grievous, yeah, we should probably leave it there, you know? Leave it there for the time being, unless it's something that it's a reoccurrence. And so I really don't agree with the fact that this guy decided to come out of all time now to expose Dr. Disrespect for what he did 4 years ago. But hey, maybe he had maybe something, him and Dr. Disrespect probably got into an argument or something, and he got extremely pissed off and decided to expose the man. So much question could be asked. So much question could be asked. But hey, let's keep going, man.
One is from Zachary Diaz, who previously worked at Twitch, who said, so glad it's finally out there, which is basically in agreement that this happened. But then there is also this video, which is worth watching. Just watch this.
It's been a long time.
Please tell us.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's so long that the person involved is probably okay now.
Yeah. My memory is really bad because this was like 2 years ago, and I was in Outpost buying a minicopter, and I remember someone saying Dr. Disrespect got banned from Twitch because he was messaging underage girls.
And obviously, it does line up with what Slasher said regarding the importance and sensitivity around the subject. I refrain from going in. I don't feel comfortable.
I mean, again, how do we know that? Like, as Dr. Disrespect, did he acknowledges his mistake and vow not to do it again? You know what I mean? We've all made mistakes in the past. All of us. We've done things in the past that we look back and we're like, damn, I wish I didn't do that. Damn. We all got dirt on us. All of us, we all do. We're human beings. That's who we are. We make mistakes in the past. Now, I'm not defending Dr. Disrespect. Don't get me wrong. But what I am defending is the fact that when somebody makes a mistake, don't hold it above his head. Don't hold it above his head for the rest of his life. Now we may never see Dr. Disrespect ever streaming again. I've seen some of his clips. I've seen some of his videos. And he's a very entertaining man. He's entertained a lot of people. You know? In fact, I think I've actually heard of if I'm not wrong, I'll have to go look for it. And if I find out, I'll probably edit it into this video. But there was a man who was, suffering from depression. And he said it's because of Dr. Disrespect, he hasn't went through with, doing the deed. You know what I mean? And again, he's done a lot of good for the people, but none of that is in the public sphere. This whole thing is out. Nobody is talking about the good that Dr. Disrespect does. Nobody's talking about the positive that he brought into his community and helped out some of the people around him. Nobody's talking about that. Rather, everybody's focused on what? Something that he did 4 years ago. And that's why, again, I'm like, sometimes it sucks. It really, really does, but it is what it is. You gotta live with it. He gotta live with it. I'm pretty sure he was streaming thinking that this thing is all blown over, but somebody decided to spill the bean and say, hey, I'm gonna expose this guy. What was his motive? Again, we may never know.
Part of this that I'm going to talk about of why this has happened, because I do feel like I have a little bit of insight as somebody who's worked for 2 separate companies where people got fired for doing shitty things and the public was never really told what happened. People find it very confusing. There's a really, really straightforward reason for that stuff, but we'll get into it. Let me catch you up on the rest of the news first. So Cody is then retweeted by Jake Lucky, who said a former Twitch employee has come forward and stated the alleged reason for Dr. Disrespect's permanent Twitch ban being for sexting a minor in the previous Twitch Whispers product, to which Dr. Disrespect responded, saying, Jake, seriously, I get it, it's a hot topic, but this has been settled, no wrongdoing was acknowledged, and they paid out the whole contract, which is the worst.
See, I mean, he said it, right? Right there. Like, Jake, seriously, this, I get it. It's a hot topic, but this has been settled, no wrongdoing was acknowledged, and they paid out the whole contract. So, from reading that, what I understand from Dr. Disrespect's point of view is he's pretty much saying, look, this was 4 years ago, all right? This whole thing has been settled. There's no reason to keep going with it anymore. Let me live my life. It was probably a mistake that I made, and that's it. That's kind of what I'm understanding from this tweet. But maybe some people probably took it wrong. For example, like this guy right here, no wrongdoing was acknowledged. This motherfucker did that shit, And again, right here, But again, I'm gonna keep repeating this because I don't want people to think I'm defending Dr. Disrespect for what he did 4 years ago. But what I am saying is we've all made mistakes. Okay? We've all made mistakes. And sometimes we just have to let it go and just don't worry about somebody else's past. Because I guarantee you, the person, whoever exposed Dr. Disrespect for what they did, if we were to be exposed to this person's life and see what he did, we'll probably be like, bro, like you're no different, maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying that because, again, what I'm trying to acknowledge is the fact that we've all got dirt on us. We've all done shit that we regret,
But this has been settled, no wrongdoing was acknowledged, and they paid out the whole contract, which is the worst possible response to this, in my opinion. Like, the pieces add up, but I was still like, this unsubstantiated. We don't know what happened. This is the most damning thing I've seen about this, to be honest. Like, obviously, Twitch employees now coming forward, again, first-hand sources, or at least second-hand sources. They're not third-hand sources. They're not randoms on the internet making assumptions. This is a more credible piece of information than anything else we have. But this, no wrongdoing was acknowledged, and they paid out the whole contract. I mean, he probably legally can only say certain things, but not replying to this...
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie too. I mean, after hearing her opinion, yeah, no wrongdoing was acknowledged. So if you didn't get caught, does that mean you were gonna go through with it? You know what I mean? You can read that tweet in different way. Only Dr. Disrespect know what he meant when he wrote this tweet.
Allegation with something like, this isn't true, of course I didn't do that, seems nuts to me. Why would you say no wrongdoing was acknowledged? Because no wrongdoing being acknowledged just means legally nobody said anything. Like, that's such a crazy thing to say. It's a good tweet. It's a good tweet, Connor. I get it. I don't disagree with you. People here saying I'm gonna need a stronger statement than that after the allegations trying to strike a chord, and it's probably a oh no. No wrongdoing got paid, by the way, is crazy. Yeah. Say, Doc, I hear you like I'm young. This is the part that I'm saying. It's way easier to just say.
And I also just remembered there was also another day where Dr. Disrespect cheated on his wife, right? And there was he was streaming Fortnite, and this guy was stream sniping him, and the guy's name was Dr. Disrespect cheat on my. It was like Dr. Disrespect cheat on my wife or something like that, and he just kept killing this guy. Oh my god. Freaking hilarious, bro. I remember that, bro. So now that's two. He cheated on his wife, and he just got caught texting. Well, allegedly got caught texting a minor.
None of this is true, actually. Rather than saying the legal wrongdoing wasn't acknowledged, they paid out the. It's just what a wild defense, and this story adds up in so many ways. Again, it adds up with Slasher saying, due to the importance and sensitivity, I've refrained from commenting on it. I don't feel comfortable. It adds up with Doc saying there's a reason why we're suing the fuck out of him. Okay, I don't know how else to put it. The amount of damages, and you just don't, which to me really adds up with it being about DMs. So the thing that I wanted to talk about, again, that I'm just adding perspective to of why this stuff happens, it's pretty simple, but I see these questions so often and these criticisms so often. So this is in response to Slash's I Didn't Lie. Someone here said, you allegedly knew about a terrible thing that happened involving a minor and you refused to say anything for years while he kept on streaming, potentially doing the same thing to others. This is not an uncommon rhetoric that I completely understand.
It's not. But again, this person is also pulling allegations out there, right? That he could have been doing this to many others. And as big as Dr. Disrespect is, I'm sure if he was, right, somebody would have came out eventually and said, oh, I got Dr. Disrespect in my DM, trying to, go viral off of that, saying I got Dr. Disrespect in my DM, here's the proof of that. But we have no proof of that, right? And also the allegation about him in 2020 getting banned because he texted a minor, again, we have no proof. All we're doing is just listening from other people's perspective, saying this is what happened, this is what happened. I haven't seen any text. I haven't seen any text whatsoever, but maybe it's out there. I mean, I've seen Dr. Disrespect's video of him talking about how he wants to just quit the whole streaming altogether, and he said he's tired of social media. He's sick of it. He's done, and so on and so forth. But he never really acknowledged the fact that I made a mistake in the past and I regretted that. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to come out and defend himself. Maybe he's completely done for good, but only time will tell.
Where it comes from when anything like this happens. There's also always a lot of why are you only talking about it now. I've seen some rumors that theorize that the Twitch employee only came out about it now because most NDAs are 4 years. There are so many reasons why someone would suddenly come forward.
Now that would make sense. That's why I was wondering. I'm like, why did the guy all of a sudden decide to come out now to explain that, But perhaps the NDA was for 4 years, and he finally got sick of it, and he's like, finally, this is over. Now I'm gonna just throw this guy under the bus, just like that. And guess what? He was successful, because now Dr. Disrespect will probably he might never be able to make it back from this. If he tries, he might never be able to make it back.
Could be they heard that he had done something else, that they got frustrated with seeing somebody successful. They can just be like, they got too many questions and finally cracked because they got the 1,000th question about it. Like, there's so many reasons that somebody would try to hold something in for a really long time and then suddenly snap. It could be that the minor turned 18. Like, it could be any combination of things. It's never been confusing to me that somebody would suddenly choose to come forward about something. If you've ever held a secret and then eventually given in and finally told someone, you understand that. It's like a very normal human thing. But this part is the part that I wanted to talk about. That again is not uncommon, and I understand where it comes from, but I have perspective on this. Again, very simple. It's not like I'm telling you anything revolutionary. I'm sure I'm gonna upset some people by even saying it. But the reality is, if something like this happens, and for some reason everyone is very quiet about it. Somebody gets outed from a company, everyone is very quiet about it. It's because somebody else is being protected 100% of the time, or at least 100% of the time that this has happened at companies that I've worked at, which has happened twice. 2 people have been ousted. Nobody really gave all of the details. It was because other people were being protected. In this instance, if all of this is true, again, it is still alleged, it would be that they were desperately trying to protect whoever this minor is. Likely that whoever...
You know what'll be crazy? If this minor, obviously they have to be really, older now, right? But if they come and say, yeah, I got DM from Dr. Disrespect when I was 15, let's say. You know what I mean? And then they show us proof. Oh, brother. Now that would just do major damage to Dr. Disrespect reputation, bro. That if that was to happen, Doc, don't ever come back to the internet. Stay off. You made millions. Okay, you got a lot of money. Get your wife, get your kids if you have kids. I think he actually does have kids. Sell your house, sell all the stuff that you have. Just move overseas, start from scratch, and live your life in peace. And don't ever talk about it again.
This person had desperately asked them not to say anything, had said, please do not make this public because it will make someone's life living hell. Like, for all people pretend innocent until proven guilty, you can have all the proof in the world and share all the proof in the world. I've watched women on the internet do that. Like, share DM screenshots, share tons and tons and tons of proof, and still the whole rest of their lives will be, you destroyed this man's career, you were asking for it, look at this picture that you've posted, look at the way you dress, clearly you wanted that attention from this dude. Like, it can follow you around and haunt you forever. I'm not speaking from personal experience there, I've watched it happen to other people, where the minute that there's even an inkling of it being public, the person who's already dealt with sexual harassment, some cases sexual assaults, whatever else, regular harassment, whatever other thing, that will chase them on the internet forever. Usually to a much worse extent than the comparatively very successful perpetrator. Usually the people who do these things are pretty significant positions of power. That's why they feel comfortable doing so, especially blatantly if he's doing it on Twitch, right? You are silent because the person who has been attacked in any way has begged you to be silent, has said, this is something I already went through, this is something I already dealt with, I do not want this to go public. So everyone goes, got it. You've been traumatized, something terrible has happened to you, you don't want this to blow up. So again, if this is true, the reason nobody spoke up about it is not in order to protect the perpetrator, who is probably a piece of shit and is probably now spread through the whole industry, and most people probably already know who need to know or are in their lives. And the public knowing isn't necessarily going to stop that from happening anyway, is also part of it that always gets me. But really, it's just the internet will find this person, the person who is the victim. They will fucking find them.
They will.
And they will make their life forever a living hell. And so you go, got it. Everyone understands that. We will deal with this privately. No.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that because yeah. And I think somebody actually already found a video of the moment. Well, not the moment, but I heard Dr. Disrespect was actually while he was streaming, he was getting text messages, right? And his demeanor just changed in that video. And somebody literally found it back in 2020, bro. So if they were able to find that, it's just a matter of time before somebody finds that girl. Or maybe that girl just might come out herself and say, it was me, by the way. But either way, man, he's screwed.
Nobody needs to know about it. You protect the person who has already dealt with the really traumatic, shitty thing and is probably distraught over this whole situation, or didn't want him to get banned but didn't have a say in it and is terrified of this dude with his huge platform getting banned because of them. It's basically what this person here is saying. The libel stuff doesn't work because for it to be libel, it has to be untrue. I don't know about libel, but if the minor in question didn't want it out in the public, then it's not his place. And if he didn't have any hard concrete evidence, he's open to severe legal issues. He literally respected the sensitivity in private for the alleged victim, which is a good journalistic practice, which I totally agree with. You can 100% know and just not feel fucking comfortable saying anything, because even with all of the evidence in the world, the reality is when people come forward about stuff like this against somebody as big as Dr. Disrespect, they're going to be fucking eaten alive. And you are kidding yourself if you think even innocent until proven guilty applies. It doesn't. Nope. No matter what, whatever victim would ever come forward about this is going to be buried. They are going to have their existence on the internet be awful. the worst people ever exist on the internet. So, like, even if they have the most compelling evidence,
And with such bad reputation, it's gonna be extremely hard for that person to just make it a normal living. It's rare seeing people making living off of situations like these. Now, you know, minor text and stuff like that. But like for example, the Cash Me Outside girl, she was a meme on the internet, and then all of a sudden she decided to make a music video. And when she turned 18, she decided to make an OnlyFans and made millions off of that. So my point is that yes, you may become a meme on the internet, but if you move wisely, you can you know profit off of that. For this person, I don't know. A lot of girls out there like to claim that they've been, they were minors and they got texted from this person and then they try to make money. To this day and age, you never know. You never know.
in the world, for the rest of their life, they'll be mocked about it. And that's somebody who's dealt with something that probably really stressed them out already and probably gave them a ton of anxiety already. Like, it just, if they have evidence, why don't they just come forward? It's just seems so dumb to me. They don't come forward because even if they do, and it's the best evidence on the planet, the worst people in the world are still going to abuse them for it forever. Like, it's really messed up to me that we do live in a culture where it is basically straight up like not worth it for victims to come forward about this stuff. Like, it is actively worse if the public knows about this kind of thing for the rest of their lives. And in a lot of cases, yeah, I don't think the internet knowing actually prevents the shitty person from making more problems. It might make them like marginally less popular, which is great. You don't want to like, have people repeatedly boosting someone who sucks. But even if they're already as popular as Doc is, he's still going to have a ton of fans who don't give a shit. This part, though, is true. Laws exist to protect children. You can't say much. That is true. If Slasher was talking about not feeling comfortable, I mean, that is worth noting that you do have to be really careful about disclosing information about children, specifically about minors. I studied journalism as part of my degree, and like half of my class failed one assignment because we had to write like this mock news article. The teacher was emailing us updates to the news story in real time as part of an exam that was like an hour and a half long. So you were getting like press releases that was like, one was fake from the police, one was fake from a school, whatever. Like half of the class failed. It might have even been like 75% of the class failed because something happened to a minor and people identified the minor in that they wrote the student from this school. They didn't write their name or their age or any of that, but they, instead of just saying a minor, they said this person was from this school. And for most of those people, it would have just been to try to find some like sentence variety to call them a student. But calling them a student identified which school they came from, and thus they all failed. So that is definitely true. But this is it for the most part. There are a lot of reasons not to release a public story involving a minor victim that could be identified. Again, a victim in general, it's so weird to me. But I get like if...
Yeah, maybe they're not a minor anymore because again, this was like 4 years ago. So she could have probably been 16, maybe 17, maybe 15. They're not a minor to this. So that's probably one of the motivation that caused this person to go ahead and just expose Dr. Disrespect,
You've never experienced the other side of this kind of thing, that maybe you just hadn't thought of it. I don't know. The truth is just we treat victims like shit. We really, really treat victims like shit. And I'm not saying I haven't seen people be falsely accused. I definitely have. Like I'm at least sure of one of them, like one person who is into content creation.
And that's the problem. That's why I really, really, really hate people who lie about things, When they lie to try to destroy somebody's life, again, keep in mind, there are people who are actually going through the actual situation. Meanwhile, you are out here lying that this happened to you and this happened to you, and just to destroy somebody's life. So when things like that happen over and over again, it becomes very, very hard to actually believe the actual victims.
Space who was falsely accused. I'm so sure they were. They did redeem themselves just fine, and everybody believed they were falsely accused, but like that happened. But I for sure feel like we exist in a landscape right now where it's not innocent until proven guilty. It's like innocent no matter what.
I thought it was more like guilty till proven innocent.
A lot of the time is how it feels. It makes it way too hostile to speak up about this shit. Now I suspect I'm publishing this, the night after it came out, the night after this response. Sorry, the morning. I expect we'll get a bunch more updates throughout the day of like other people weighing in on if they know about any of this or if they don't. I still don't know if it did happen. I don't know if this is true or not. Accusations like this can 100% ruin people's lives, just as victims coming forward ruins their lives every fucking time. I don't know. This shit's super messy. I'm sure it's going to continue to get really messy. I think this answer makes a ton of sense. Again, not saying it definitely happened, but it certainly makes shit add up. And I get why people were quiet, and I completely get why the victim didn't come forward. And I hope, for their sake, that we never find out who they are.
Yeah, and I agree with her, honestly, because who knows? Who knows? One man's life got destroyed. He's never going to be able to come back from this. I don't think he'll ever be able to come back from this. But it's just a matter of time now. We'll see exactly how things go. So anyway, thank you guys so much for stopping by. If you made it this far in the video, leave a like, subscribe maybe, who knows. And if you want to see more, go ahead and just subscribe. Later.